Awesomeness, awesomeness.
Funny what you're doing over there.
All right, so for everybody, we have Jaclyn Wolfe, who's gracious enough to help us out. We're going to see if we can help Jaclyn out today. So, Jaclyn, we just had a conversation. You're new to doing loans, correct? New to writing loans.
New to mortgage loans.
New to mortgage loans, but you've been in the mortgage. You've been in the lending space, though, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, what got you into doing mortgages? What made you decide to do this?
I just saw a lot of opportunity there. It's always interested me. When I was doing consumer lending, we did mortgages. We were just very limited on what we did. We did conventional only, 80% loan to value. We did an escrow. And so when we got into the secondary market stuff, it just interested me. And being the lending manager, I didn't have time to focus on really learning the secondary market mortgages.
Okay. Where do you live?
Casper, Wyoming.
Casper, Wyoming. Oh my gosh, I took a motorcycle ride through there one time. I think a lot of people have.
Yeah.
I think
on the way to Sturgis?
I went to Sturgis. I went to Cody and Casper. I've been to Cody and Casper, and then Jackson Hole were the three places that I think I. You know, people don't realize how beautiful Wyoming is. Maybe they do, but I didn't realize it until I went out there. It's like jaw-droppingly beautiful.
You must have been here in the summer.
Yeah, not right now, that's for sure, huh? Well, there's a lot of places that could boast that right now. I have a friend of mine who's in Duluth, Minnesota, and I'm like, dude, you said it like you've got snow on the ground 10 months out of the year. His wife goes, it got 60 below last year, and I remember going, oh my God, like how do you? That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay.
Yep.
So now also you just got into social media too, because you had mentioned a moment ago that you just got a Facebook account. So and by the way, congratulations for staying away from social media. So you picked up some social media accounts, and I'm assuming you're probably doing it right now because you're looking at it as a potential marketing opportunity, correct?
Yeah. I just met with our marketing gal last week. We're going to get together and create a Facebook account for business life.
Okay, so you're going to create a Facebook business account.
Yep.
Okay. I would say don't do that. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you not to. Here's what I'm going to tell you not to do it. So you're going to have a Facebook page that is all about mortgages. Okay. So when you're doing any type of marketing, you have two costs. Any type of marketing, you have a cost of time and a cost of resources. And your resources could be money, it could be bodies, right? And you have a cost of your time. So how much time is it going to get you? And you need to really you need to determine if your cost of time and or money is going to give you the appropriate return on your investment. So in both of those scenarios, one thing that I've discovered is that people who use business pages, particularly for mortgages, they generally don't get a return on that investment. And the example that I've heard a million times, and I'm going to share, my friend Johnny Fowler says, he says, you know, like Coca-Cola has a business page. Like nobody ever woke up in the morning and said, I wonder how Coca-Cola is doing today. Let me go check out the Coca-Cola business page to see, oh my God, thank God they're still here. So and you know what I mean? So like there's an assumption people will drink a Coca-Cola, but they're not particularly interested unless they're investing in Coca-Cola, what the disposition or the latest statement that Coca-Cola has to say. You know what I mean? And when you're selling mortgages for a living, if somebody's buying a house on average or going to use your services on average between 7 to 9 years, that means somebody's going to be interested in what you're selling for 3 months every 7 to 9 years, which makes it a relatively inefficient use of your time and your money. Now, Jaclyn, you, on the other hand, people that you know are probably interested in you, okay? And as an extension, they'll be interested in what you do for a living, but only as it extends to you. And I see this a lot in the mortgage and real estate industry where people get super focused on the brand and selling mortgages and talking mortgages. And can you think of, if you're not in mortgages, can you think of anything more boring to possibly talk about than mortgages? I can't.
No.
It's like I have a friend of mine, his name's Mike Ballinger, he frames houses for a living. Imagine if he put together a site on framing houses and he kept talking about, you know, the benefits of having a 19-ounce wooden handled Von Hammer. I don't care. And so I think what we do is we go in directions as far as our marketing should be, like what we're told, what we think, but we don't kind of question like what do we expect the outcome of this to be. And I'm not trying to blast what your marketing person is telling you. Well, truthfully, I'm in the minority because most companies would have you do exactly that. And I would say, is that the best use of our time out the gate? Let's see some of the things that we have in your area of beautiful Wyoming. And I'm just going to give you some ideas, Jaclyn, that might be good to do. Okay, so you're in what city? Is it Cody? Casper.
You're in Casper.
Okay. So let's check it out. Okay, so if we go to groups in Casper, Wyoming. Okay. So the idea behind, again, if we're to back ourselves out even further, the idea about putting a Facebook business page together is the thought that you're going to have an audience there, and that audience will then use your services, okay? So I think we established it's going to be hard to build an audience on a business page for you, particularly with something as interesting as mortgages. So rather than build an audience, I would recommend that you just borrow somebody else's, because there's other ones that are already in place, there's other ones that you can already use. So we don't have to build anything because ultimately the site is only for the people going to it to convert them. So rather than build an audience, I recommend we just borrow somebody else's. Now, here's what's really exciting about this. So you have people who are great marketers who have this huge database and CRMs and all this stuff, and boy, they're ready to go. A great loan officer who's been doing this crap for 10 years might have 1,000 people in their database. But do you want to see something interesting? Watch this. So let's see, Casper Classified. I just joined a group that gave me access to 54,000 people. And I'll bet you amongst those 54,000 people, are you trying to sell animals, guns, or cars, or post real estate or cars? Maybe. They're probably not going to let me in. Okay. I don't want to lie to them. So Casper Sale and Trade Group. Let's try this one. This one's only got 2.7 thousand members. So you see, by joining this group here, I've got 2.7 thousand people that I could go ahead and market to. That's bigger than any loan officer's database. Of course, there's going to be somebody watching this right now who's saying, I got a bigger database than that. And okay, so you do. Why don't you add 2,700 more people to your database? You know, it's like you're missing the point. So I just joined this group in Casper, Wyoming with 2.7 thousand people with a sell and trade group. Okay? Now, I said this is bigger than any loan officer's database, and there's somebody who says, I got a bigger database, and I'm saying, you're missing the point. If I join this group, you can add 2.7 thousand people. So now, Jaclyn, we have you, which is interesting because you don't really have social sites because you're probably smarter than the rest of us. And I'm assuming you don't have a database of past clients because you're new to mortgages, and yet if you were to do this and just join this group right here, you just picked up 2.7 thousand people you can market to with one click of a button. Classifieds, we could join this, 7.8 thousand, so now I'm up to 10,000 people. Now I'm up to 17.5 thousand people if I join this one. You see what I'm doing? I can go through here and I can find any type of group I want in little old Casper, Wyoming. So we can give you a huge presence on social sites immediately, and you don't even have to have a social site account other than just a holding place. So I would recommend, this is just me, I would recommend rather than making a business page, spending that time to try to build an audience, which is a pain in the ass to do, just borrow somebody else's because it's that easy. Doesn't that make a lot of sense? It does to me.
Yeah, and I'm in a lot of those groups.
Good, good, good. And then what you want to do is sit down tonight, maybe pour yourself a glass of wine if that's your thing, watch whatever it is you want to watch, pull up your account and just start going and like figuring some groups to join. Okay, so I want to look at Casper, Wyoming because I love Wyoming. Weren't we just talking about Wyoming earlier? Yeah, we were. What a weird thing. We were. Oh my God, that is so weird. I mean, literally, we were just talking about this. What a strange thing out here in California. Okay, so Casper, Wyoming. Big mountains, wonderful skiing. Guys, if anyone watching this right now has never been to Casper, Wyoming, you are missing out. This is such a cool little town. Lots of great outdoor stuff. What do you like to, what are your hobbies, Jaclyn? What do you like to do?
a golfer.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You're not a skier?
No, I don't like winter.
You need to move to Arizona. They got lots of golf courses there, and they don't have a whole bunch of snow.
I am in the wrong state.
You're in my state. I should be in your state. I would love it there. Okay, so Casper, Wyoming. Look at the downtown. Look how cute this is, guys. Everyone is looking at this. Little theaters.
Every town looks like that.
Well, in the Midwest they do. Out here they don't. Like Vacaville looks like this. This looks like where I'm. This looks like literally looks exactly where I'm at right now.
Hard to find a shitty town.
Oh, hard to find a bad town. You ever been to Richmond?
No.
There's a lot of bad towns. Okay. Okay. So, but Casper, Wyoming is really cool. Okay. So enough about going on about Casper. But it appears you guys have like Casper, your area is going to be a destination location for people who like outdoor activities, bike riding, fishing, skiing, stuff like that, motorcycles. You're going to get a lot of people going through there. So is it a big second home market?
A lot of people here snowbird to Arizona.
Oh,
So,
okay. Okay, so let's see if we can figure out some stuff that we could drum up some biz for you right now. Okay, so here's conceptually what I want to just kind of show you what to do. So let's say I've joined a group over there in Casper, Wyoming. And a lot of people have seen this, so just indulge me if you have. Okay, so if I go over here and I pull up a single property website, let's say anybody who clicks on this property right here, let's say we get a property that looks like this in Casper, Wyoming. Now, we've got a real estate agent in Casper. It's going to be right here. We're going to have you and your company right here on a single property website. Now, this is marketing 101 because people never want to get a mortgage. They want to get a house, and they will get a mortgage because they have to get a mortgage. You would definitely agree with that, right? No one likes root canals and getting mortgages. They tolerate them so they can get a house. So we like the idea of marketing houses. So now, what if we were to market this house if it was in Casper, Wyoming, and I was to go to one of those Casper, Wyoming sites that have 10,000 people on them, and what if I were to, now I'm not even going to your site, I'm going to one of these multitude of sites in Casper, Wyoming, thousands of people. We get the idea. So you go become a member, attend these groups, and then you go to one. So I'll show you my equivalent in Vacaville. So if I have a Vacaville Crime and Community, this is a site right here that we go to, I get to borrow this database if I post in here. There's 30,000 members. So if I post this property in here, this is going to go to 30,000 people in and around Vacaville, just like you would do in Casper, Wyoming. Here's the property. If somebody were to text this text code to this number, Catherine, what happens is that, or Jaclyn, excuse me, we just had a Catherine in here, my bad. What would happen is that you would capture that person's lead. Meaning you would capture their phone number the minute they texted this message if somebody was interested in a house that you were posting in Wyoming. Further, if we take this single property website, you know, I always show people like, oh, look how beautiful our single property websites are for houses that are for sale. But here's the dirty truth. If anybody is looking at this property who is interested in buying it, you already have their information. So understand this. So if you post this property, as I just showed you in Vacaville, if somebody is actually looking at this property in Casper, Wyoming, you have already got their information. So now you have the information of a person who is showing interest in buying a house. That's a pretty good gig. Okay? So in order to put you in a position to have conversations with people in Casper, Wyoming, who are thinking about buying a house and by extension will need a mortgage, you need to have some form of lead capture on a house in groups in Casper. And that's easy enough. Because I just showed you I could literally post a property here in 5 seconds and it doesn't cost me any money or any time. That's a good gig. Okay? Are you following me?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Now, there's a couple of glaring holes here. Have you seen them?
No.
Okay, I'll explain. Like you do in Casper, what I'm doing here. So I post this property here. I say, look at this wonderful home that my friend, that Angelica Davis has listed. It's going to go fast. Check it out. Okay, so it doesn't matter what I put here. So it's just this property is now going to get posted to a group that has 30,000 members. So I'm going to put this house for sale in front of 30,000 people, and if somebody clicks on the property in order to see the house, I get their information directly from Facebook. So it creates leads and lead opportunities. Okay? All right. Here's the glaring mistakes that I'm telling you. I am posting this property into a crime and community group, not really relevant to the group. You'd agree?
Yes.
Okay. So what I want you to think about here is you want to post properties that are relevant to their groups. Okay? So let's check something out here. Let me see if I can find one here. Yeah. We're gonna go through this. Okay. Let's see if I have it on here. I think I do. And here's what that lead capture looks like. So if somebody clicks on that property, this is what it's going to look like. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay. So this is an example of groups that we could possibly join to list properties. So would it be a good idea to post if you lived in Duluth, Minnesota, would it be a good idea to post into a group that's buy, sell, trade? Sure. Exchange, swap, sell? Why not? Apartments for rent? People who rent should buy? I think that's in play. Garage sales or barter? Why not? Wheels and deals? Duluth online sales, 35,000 members? Why not? Garage sales? I'd do it until they told me no. Let's see. These are all different groups in Duluth. You probably have a lot like this over in Casper. Would it be a good idea to post a property in a horse and tack and sale and trade group? Would it be a good idea to post a house in here?
No.
What if the property stabled horses?
Yes.
Oh, in that case, when you think about it, if you have a property that stables horses, nobody but somebody who's in a horse group was going to buy that house. I'm not buying a house that stables horses. So not only would that be a good idea, it would be a great idea, and you would be the only person posting this on behalf of your real estate agents. A very quick way to drum up some support from your referral partners in Casper. What about railroads? Would it be a good idea to post in railroads?
No.
What if you have a property next to railroad tracks?
Possibly.
Yeah, see, if you have a property next to railroad tracks, it's probably a horrible house. But there's people who love trains. For somebody, that's their dream house. So what we're doing here, here's another one here. What about singles groups? Would it be a good idea to post singles groups?
Probably not, but you might get a hit.
Okay. So,
Okay.
so let's. Somebody who likes. There are people who likes trains. It's kind of a mindset. Okay, so let's go back to like Duluth, or let's go back to Casper. I'm so boring. What does Brian look at? Apparently dogs and people. I like dogs and people. Okay. Casper, Wyoming. All right, downtown. Here's what I think. I'll bet you anything somewhere in your downtown area. Do you have anything that's zoned commercial, residential? Like, do people live in these things? What if a real estate agent got a listing in one of these properties right here? You know, this is like you know, I'm almost 50. And the idea of living above or next to a bar sounds horrible to me. But I'll bet you for some 24-year-old young whippersnapper who is, hot to trot on the dating scene, having a property that was zoned commercial residential right next to the downtown life sounds like a great idea. So in which case, you might have a property-specific house that posting it on a single site, if you can make a connection, is perfect. But here's the whole thing that I want you to kind of think about is, I'm telling you, is he really telling me to post properties on single sites, railroad lovers sites, and horse sites? I absolutely am telling you to do that. Only if you can find an appropriate tie-in to that specific property to where it makes sense. Because when you do that, you will be the only person in your area who is doing that type of marketing. And scarcity is a marketer's best friend. In other words, when you do something that your competition doesn't do, your marketing piece has a lower probability of being diluted into oblivion. So if there's a lot of people looking at it and not a whole bunch of other people marketing, you will be the benefactor of that. It's kind of like if you went to a baseball field and there was only one beer vendor. That beer vendor there'd be a line around the corner forever. You go to one baseball stadium and they got 25 beer hawkers. Well, not so much anymore because that business is diluted amongst 25 beer hawkers. So the idea of scarcity is a marketer's best friend. So we are going to zig when other people zag. So what we've built right now is, okay, so very specifically for you, all right, let's just get your go get Facebook, post your stuff up there and just leave it alone. Yeah, I don't care if you get friends or anything. Don't get a business page. Spend 5 minutes, put it together, throw your face up there, what you do for a living, put some pictures of your kids' family, and maybe you doing a little golf and you're good to go. Because you don't need a database. Go borrow somebody else's. And it's through the groups. Then you want to post properties that have lead capture on there into groups that have a specific tie into the property, and I guarantee you, you'll get 1 million people who are going to hit you up, and you've just generated a list of potential buyers for you and your real estate agent partners. You could have this whole thing done before today's over. Now, there's still one more problem, and I don't know what this, I know what it is. I don't know, we got to see if we have to address this. Do you have real estate agent referral partners who are currently giving you their business?
Not yet. I'm working on a few.
Yes, good. Okay, so I'm going to tell you right now who to call. I'm going to give you your list, specifically for you. This is, the reason I love this with a new loan officer, there's a couple things I love about new loan officers. One, you don't have all the built-in bad habits of loan officers who've been doing this crap for 20 years and feel that they're entitled to an easier job than what they've got. So I think that's great. It's not built in. Two, we have not established a reputation for what we do, either good or bad, because oftentimes it's the bad stuff that kind of stands out, okay? And three, when somebody's new to the industry, there's still an exuberance about the whole idea of marketing. And so if we can capture you when you're hot to trot on this stuff, we have a better chance of converting you and creating great habits, which I think is awesome because I love this stuff. Okay, so now I'm in Casper, Wyoming. Okay, I wouldn't have thought this, but in Casper, Wyoming, there's 501 homes for sale on Zillow. And for the record, I can't stand Zillow. I think it's destroying the real estate industry, and I hope they disappear. But it works for us for what we want to do, me and you right now, because all I'm looking for is lists of real estate agents who we can go ahead and get them on board with you. And this is the easiest list that you could possibly find. Now, so what I want you to understand is there's 501 homes for sale, okay? Just in Casper, Wyoming. Now, each one of these listings is going to have 3 or 4 real estate agents on it. So that means there's probably 1,000 real estate agents in Casper, Wyoming alone who are paying thousands of dollars a month to Zillow because they want to close more business. These are good agents to call, okay? So we just want their list. I don't want their data. I want their list, not their homes. Now, all you need in order to be a top producing loan officer in Casper, Wyoming is you just need to get 10 to 20 real estate agents to work with you. That means of the 1,000 agents, you need 1 to 2 1/100ths of 1% of the real estate agents to work with you. And that's an easy enough thing to do, but this is kind of a ditch digging activity. So here's the bad news. I want you to call, I would rather you than building a professional business page on Facebook that nobody's going to go to. I would rather you take that time that resource that you have of time and spend it calling referral partners. Particularly because you've never closed any or you haven't closed any deals and you're new. You don't know any of these people and they don't know you. Okay, so do you know Rona Borrell? Do you know her?
I don't.
Good. Do you know Lisa Burridge?
I know of her.
How about Alicia Collins?
I know she's really big.
Yeah, these are good people. Okay, and then we got Frank Schreckengost.
I know. I'm not familiar with him.
Okay. Now I don't live in Casper, Wyoming, so I don't know any of these people. Let's see, Lisa Burridge. I can tell you about her. First of all, what I can tell you is, the first thing I can tell you about Lisa Burridge. Let me see. Oh, I probably already lost her. Let's see. We might try some. I don't know any of these. Okay, so Lisa Burridge. I know her phone number is 307. Oh, I know her phone number is 307-298-2743. I know she sells real estate in Casper, Wyoming. I know she spends thousands of dollars on Zillow because she wants more business. This is what I know for sure. I know that she's a buyer listing relo expert, new construction. She provides the best services. Boy, this is very cliche. We will never tell a client what they want to hear. We'll tell them the truth. Okay, so she fancies herself a straight shooter. Not very helpful for my needs, but whatever. Expected cannot be done in good faith. We acknowledge that we may periodically lose business because we are truthful. So being truthiness, the truthiness thing with her is, I guess, a big thing. That's her selling point. She's going to be a straight shooter. You know what I would do? She just told me she's a straight shooter, so I would call her up and I'd say, hey, how you doing? Lisa Burridge, I totally would do this. Here's what I would do. I would call her up. I'd say, Lisa Burridge, look, you got a reputation for being kind of a straight shooter out here in Casper, Wyoming, so I want to cut straight to the point with you if you'll give me 2 seconds. I'm dead serious I would do this, because she said in here, straight shooter, I'll lose business. Straight shooter, straight shooter, straight shooter. She's a straight, that's how she sees herself. If she is or not, I don't know, but she sees herself as that, and that's all that matters. I would call her up, I'd say, you know what, my name's Jaclyn Wolfe. I've been 10 years in the mortgage industry, or the lending industry. I'm new to loans. I know this. I understand what I'm looking for. I'm going to be a great marketer, and I've got a strategy that's going to get you more leads off the listings that you have, and I'm not going to charge you the type of money you're paying for Zillow right now. So I'm shooting straight with you, and I'd like to have an opportunity to earn that business. What do you say? And what she's going to say to you is she's going to say, oh, of course, Jaclyn, I would love to work with you. That she's going to tell you no. I guarantee that. And then here's what you're going to say to her. She is going to say no because she's a baller. You're going to say, okay, well, here's the deal. Lisa, I'll bet you got another lender right now that you like to use. After all, you're one of the best realtors out here in Casper, Wyoming. And you're probably getting hit up all the time by other lenders. They're probably making empty promises to you and never following through. So can we try this way? If I could do some marketing with your blessing, I want to bring you a list of buyers and possible listing opportunities. And would it be okay if we just work these deals together? Just the ones I bring to the table. I don't want to interfere with anything you're doing, and I don't want to create any work for you because I don't like when people do that for me. Would that be possible? And now we're having a conversation. We've given her a moment to pause, okay? Because now we're telling her, look, I understand you don't want to. I understand you have other obligations. I am nothing to you. I get it. I just want to bring value to you. And I will prove my value to you. And I ain't asking anything of you. And then if she says yes, you say great. And then what we do is you take her to her listing booster, your listing booster account. Let me show you this. And then what was her name? Burridge. B-U-R-R-I-D-G-E. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, yay. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go in here. I'm going to add a new agent. B-U-R-R-I-D-G-E. Was that how you spelled it?
Yep.
Okay. Here she is. So what I did is I went to my listing booster account. I looked up her last name in Wyoming. I found her. And I said, okay, I'm going to send you an invite. And this is going to allow me to market some of your property. So I just need you to hit sync with me. Can you do that? If she says yes, say, look, and just hit her while you got her on the phone if she says yes. And say, just hit that button, and what I'll do is I'll come to you a week from now with a list of 20 potential buyers and listings, and I'm going to hand that off to you, and you can hand it off to your team or do whatever you want to do. Okay? And we're not asking anything of her. We are going to prove to her that we can do things better than other people. It's a better way to go. Okay? Because once you hit create an account, this is going to send an email on your behalf to Lisa Burridge. Okay? And when she hits sync, that's going to give you access to all of her listings, and you can start to post exactly how I showed you, which I guarantee you nobody in Casper, Wyoming is doing. And I'll prove it to you right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go to Marketplace. Let's see what people are posting at. If they're posting like that, there's a symptom that I'll find. I'll see. CASPR, Casper, Wyoming. Wouldn't that be interesting if I was wrong? Okay, I might be, but I doubt it. I really doubt it. Okay, so homes for sale. Let's see, properties for sale. There will be text codes assigned to properties if they are doing my strategy. No, 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 no. Nobody's doing it. Nobody told you. Oh, and look at this. Here's another thing to look at. If a lot of people, again, just borrow a database. Don't create one. It takes too much time. Borrow one. They're giving it to you. There are thousands and thousands of people on Facebook in Casper, Wyoming. And look at, here's the properties for sale. This is where 1,000 people are looking for homes. Look in Casper, Wyoming. You have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have a total of 6 properties that are being marketed here. Remember I just showed you on Facebook? Look at this. On Facebook, no, excuse me, on Zillow, this gal, Lisa Burridge, is spending thousands of dollars a month for her ads on Zillow because that's the cost just to even start. Okay? Now, there are 500 listings in Casper, Wyoming. We saw that on Zillow. I think it was 501. Let's see exactly what it is. Okay? Now, and I think most people would understand this, that like Casper, Facebook and Zillow, they're both pretty big platforms. Okay, look at 501 homes for sale in Casper, Wyoming. Here's 501 homes here. And you have to pay thousands to be one of 501. Diluted message. Or you go to Facebook, and in Casper, Wyoming, there are 6 homes. Where is somebody going to get a better conversion? Being one of 501 homes or being one of 6 homes? Well, 6 homes is better. 6 homes, having one house amongst 6 is you have a higher chance of selling it, assuming you have the same audience size, versus one of 501. So what I'm just illustrating, and I don't know if we're connecting the dots over here, but what I'm telling you is if you do what we talk about, nobody in your area is doing this. Nobody. Zero. Nobody. You become the first loan officer to take your marketing into the 21st century. And you're new, which makes this even more fun. Now, if we want to learn more about this gal, because she sounds, oh, by the way, so with that Burridge gal, was it, let me see. What we have on her is she had a team. Okay, so she's big. She's got a team. 1, 2, oh, look at, she's got 11 team members. So if she says yes to you, you just picked up this whole group. Okay? Now, we could find out more about her probably. Let's go Command V, and let's hit this, and let's see if we can find her. There she is. You know what you might want to do? When you get your social site, here's the first friend you want to make, her. Click Add Friend, and she'll accept you. And now you can talk to her in a way that people like to talk that's a little less intimidating than a conversation. Not to mention she's probably busy, so be a friend with her on Facebook, because remember, when you get her, you get the whole team. You go from no real estate agents to a team of 12. So these would be great habits and easy to execute and don't cost you time and money. Now, there's something else. Let's think of where the holes are. So she probably has a lender who she calls preferred, and I told you how to overcome that. Keep sending them everything. We don't care. If she has an in-house lender, I'm sorry, I have an in-house lender, then you tell her, keep giving them all your business. I don't want you to, don't give me any of your business. Let me just work the business that I create with you. And what that allows us to do is overcome obstacles. Now, what we just showed you is like a very clear roadmap on how you can use social sites to very easily, borrow an audience of people from groups in Casper, Wyoming, and I showed you on Marketplace, which is like a classified ads for Facebook for properties for sale, there are 6 homes for sale. Zillow has 500. Go to the place where there's 6. Do what other people don't do. Reach out to the Lisa Burridges of the world. Now, if Lisa, oh, by the way, here's another thing. If Lisa will probably say no matter what, because people don't like to be sold to. But here's the cool thing, is what you can do is when we're done with calling Lisa, we call Rana, we call Jamie. And if they all say no, no problem. Let's click on look at these houses. Oh my God, these are so cool. Okay, when we're done with that, then we call Alicia, we call Michael, and when we're done with that, we go down and we can call Chris, we'll call Frank, we'll call Ashley, and here's all their numbers, here's all their information, and your script is really simple. Hey, I'm new to the business, but I got a keen eye for marketing right now, and I have a way to generate more leads off the listings that you have. And we can do this without charging you thousands of dollars like Zillow. I'd love a shot to do this with you. And they'll all say no. But there's a way to overcome those objections, because when somebody says no to you, what they're really saying is, they're saying, I'm not prepared to make a decision. They're saying, I don't believe you. They're saying, this isn't the right time for me. They're saying, I need to discuss it with somebody else. They're saying a lot of things other than no, but no becomes a placeholder for a whole bunch of things that person could mean. So if you can get past that initial no and find out what that objection is, then you can overcome that objection. Because here's the truth. Every real estate agent, including the high-flying Lisa Burridge, wants to close more business. And if they truly believed that you had a way to help them close more business, they would do it. So the onus is upon your shoulders to make sure that you can get that message through to them. And again, remember, of the 501 listings of the 1,000 real estate agents in Casper, Wyoming, you only need to get about 10 and do our marketing strategies, and you've got a drop the mic moment as a mortgage loan officer in Casper, Wyoming. Seems like a lot to tell.
What? I'm sorry.
It's probably, if this is the first time you're hearing it, it's probably a little bit much and overwhelming right now. My sense is that you're listening to this and you're probably thinking, that sounds like a good idea, Brian, but I'm not sure if I followed everything, and there's a lot of things I would need to learn to make that happen. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
Okay. So, could I start you? Can I get you to hear in very short order? If you agree that this sounds like a good idea, could I start you at the beginning of this? Can I put you on a couple other live webinars where we will get you up to this point, and by the time you're doing this, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, and this will be second nature to you. Would that be a fair thing? And by the way, let me practice what I preach. How about if I don't take any of your money or your time until I get to a point where I can prove that this works to you? Is that a fair thing to do?
Yes.
Cool. Well, we have a meeting of the minds. Now, what I do want to do, though, I'll tell you this. If I can get you to a point where you're closing 10 deals a month, you're going to have to find a place for me to stay for a couple of days in Casper, Wyoming, because I do want to go there and go skiing.
Done.
Okay. Do me a favor, in the comment section down below, just write your phone number down there, Jaclyn, because I don't want to announce it on my show. Because there's other people watching. No one's going to call you, but if you could just type your phone number in, and I'm just going to get you set up on the webinar starting at the beginning, and we're going to get this whole thing through for you. And in, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, you'll be ready to roll. And we're not going to charge you one dime. And I'm looking for that number. People are going to see this anyway. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to take this off of this so people can't see it. Yay. Okay, so now nobody can see it. So if you write your number down.
All right, as soon as it comes through.
Got you. Okay. And for the other people on this webinar, The same thing applies to you. What I've kind of started doing is I like the idea of talking with a loan officer and seeing exactly what that person's needs are and seeing how we can take the next step to success. And I love the fact that we have Jaclyn on here because Jaclyn's new to the business. And she was cool enough to let us share a little bit of her story. And she's not into social sites. And I think a lot of us feel that way. And I think that's really cool. So I just really appreciate that, Jaclyn. I thought that was awesome, and I'd love the opportunity to let us show you what we can do to get you rolling. And I'm going to have somebody call you when we get off the phone, and we're going to start this thing right now.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. Well, listen, for everybody who's watching us on social sites, thanks for your time. I hope this spoke to you in some way. You can market better. Thank you, Jaclyn, and for everyone else on my webinar, totally appreciate that too. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.